Hey, buddy. It's me talking to you. It's the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name's Jeff, and I'm joined as per usual by Richard.
Oh, hey, guys.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Hey, there was something in my pockets just a second ago. It was like super important to me, and I don't... Guys, have you seen a thing? It's like this big, and it's kind of this odd color, and it's kind of this shape. I know it's kind of weird, but it kind of means a lot to me.
Yeah, I threw that away.
Oh, shit. Today on the Mount Rushmore podcast, we're discussing the Mount Rushmore of things that we've lost. And this is one of those blatant attempts to get to know the hearts and minds of my fellow podcasters, Richard and Michael, just a little bit more by letting them disclose the things that they've lost in their past. And I'm just going to ask Richard to go first.
All right. So my first one is soccer tickets.
Whoa.
That I lost about 2 months ago.
Oh, God.
To a game in Portland. And I realized I lost it the night before the game.
Oh, God.
I had the tickets in, we have like a little, like a little hanging like cubby, like right above right by our door where we put like mail and stuff like that.
Yeah, you do.
Cubby, I said. I don't know what you thought I
Oh,
said.
no,
Cubby.
no.
I'm not even sure what you thought I said.
I heard it. I see it all the time.
Oh, okay.
Through your window when you put stuff in there.
Excuse me?
Okay.
And I knew, like, okay, got these 2 tickets as I was flying up to go meet my best friend from college, and we're going to go see the game together. He lives up in Portland. And I got the tickets, like physical tickets, put them in the thing. I was like, great, I know where they are. Going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Day before the game, just going through all my packing, get my shit together. All right, time to go get the tickets. Where the fuck are the tickets?
Oof.
Nowhere to be found.
Oh.
And I have anxiety issues to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So you put me in an actual emergency situation like this.
Oh.
It's not good.
Because you're 9/10 of the way there.
I'm there pretty much all the time. I'm like the Hulk.
Yeah.
How does he stay, how does he stop from being
my
the Hulk? He's
secret.
always
Anxious.
angry.
Yeah.
I'm always anxious.
Okay.
So you put me in an actual situation where I have real reason to be anxious.
Yeah.
That's going to put me right over
Oh.
the top. It's like that with anything I lose, whether it's keys or a wallet.
Virginity.
Well, I'm sure once that happens.
Okay. But did you
Never
purchase?
Never
okay.
found them.
Oh, that's.
So I wound up having to go back, and I wound up having to rebuy the tickets. So there's like $80 down the drain.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And you just feel stupid about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why couldn't I have just put the tickets like in an envelope and
Mhm.
somewhere, like even just in an envelope would have worked.
Yeah.
So I'm sure what happened is somehow somebody took mail out of that thing and they popped out and they fell on the ground. Then I'm sure when we move out in a few years, we're gonna find them like in the couch or some bullshit like that, or in the kids' toys. Who knows? It's just it was
And
a
how
very
did you feel?
frustrating.
Frustrating.
It was super frustrating.
When I lose something, when I do things to mess up my life, it really takes the wind out of my sails, because I think I can blame all kinds of things on external forces, people who I'm competing with or something like that, but 99.9 of my problems are me. It's Jeff Hopkins who's in there.
That one I was still able to blame other people.
Oh, really? Okay, perfect.
I'm sure somebody else
Perfect.
knocked it out and wasn't paying attention to it. Sarah's dad.
I am a sucker for printed tickets. We go to a ton of concerts. And
Yeah.
we have like a ticket book thing that
Oh,
I think
scrapbook.
Emily had bought me, or I bought it or something. Just like a scrapbook of like, here are different ticket stubs.
You have puffy paint on the front of the book.
That's right. Little
Flowers and
That's right. Little stickers that go on and hold them in.
Cute.
But I love the actual physical ticket. We'll save one from each of the shows, and every once in a while, I'll either have accidentally ordered one without getting the ticket,
Oh.
like an e-ticket
Yeah.
or whatever, and have to print out a piece of paper, which feels like, that feels so
Yeah.
barbaric, or it
Yeah.
feels like so. It feels too new. I think there's part of it too is like when you walk up to the gate and you scan your phone. It's fine if you're going to see a movie, but like going to see like an event or a thing, like I really like that. I've got a ticket and I can look back and
I feel like
put
Charlie.
it in a thing.
Charlie.
A little bit.
Bucket.
So we have a very special place that if we get tickets in the mail from like Ticketmaster or whatever, we have like an old eyeglasses container case box thing that's always in the same place.
Yeah.
And all the tickets go in there, and that's just where they go. So I understand like that pain of just like losing that thing that, like, for you might not have been able to get tickets. Well, maybe you could have. I don't. I guess it's sports. Maybe sports tickets are easier to get, or maybe less expensive than like a concert that comes around once versus that comes around 16 times a year. I don't know how often are soccer games.
Every few weeks, but this was like a travel day.
Right.
So it was like, a big, like a lot of the fans were heading up. I got the tickets from my supporters group.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of a bigger deal. It wasn't just
That's,
like, yeah. And see, I'm the opposite. I never
at
want
least you got to go. At least you got to go.
I
see
got
it.
to get tickets and it was fine. It worked out okay. But I don't want physical tickets ever again. And I knew it is when they're like, oh, well, you were just going to like just pick up your tickets at one of the home games. I'll give them to you. I was like, I don't want the tickets.
Yeah.
Can you guys just keep the tickets and I'll pick them up from you at like in Portland? Because I could see it coming.
Yeah.
I could just see the lost tickets happening a mile. And that was maybe the most frustrating part is I could see this coming down the pipeline. I knew I was going to lose those fucking tickets. And guess what? I lost those fucking tickets.
Mark that down for when you're psychoanalyzing Richard later. That he threw these tickets away. There's something he didn't want to go to in Portland.
Yeah, there's a little Jekyll
He's trying to
Hyde
get out of
thing going on.
Who's this friend of yours? This supposed friend of yours in Portland.
Well, my best friend from college, Stephen.
Yeah,
You've met him once.
Yeah, and he does not exist.
So is tickets yours too, Michael?
No,
or
no,
another?
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay, so what's your first choice?
My first one. I'm gonna hold up a picture for you guys. There you go.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
What is that?
That is Moss Man. That's an old He-Man character.
Wow.
If you look closely, he is basically just a repainted and reflocked Beast Man. He-Man was so cheap. They were so cheap. They just reused the same molds over and over. And he was basically just a recolored and repainted, done-up version of one character. Anyway, there was a game that I used to play with this guy when he was 7 or 8 years old.
He was 7 or 8, or
Oh,
you and I?
I
he's just a wee. He's a moss boy.
When you take, I take the character and I throw him behind my back into the plants, into the grass to go find, because his thing was like he looks, his action figure accessory was that he looks like fucking grass and camouflaged. I throw him behind my back, and he'd be gone. And then you go look and find him and be like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
One day I threw him behind my back.
No way.
There you go.
Did he
amazing.
Did he
never
blend
found
into
him.
blend into the moss?
I guess so. It must have been into like the ivy or something.
Uh-huh.
Kids don't ever go into ivy.
Oh shit.
I'm sure there's rats and things.
Yeah.
Ivy is just whatever.
All I can think of is that there's a commercial in Wrigley Field where they're pulling stuff out of the ivy.
Yeah.
They pull out Andre Dawson.
Maybe Moss Man's in there with Andre Dawson.
He might be.
But like it was just one of those things that I remember. Like it's almost with like these tickets. Like I knew what I was doing. I knew I was playing around with them and throwing them.
Yeah.
It wasn't like special or anything, but it was just like, oh, he's
shit.
lost.
Yeah.
Next day you go back, look for him.
Yeah.
A thing that's just on your mind for I don't know. I'm almost 40. Let's say 32 years.
By the way,
that I've wondered what the hell happened to Moss Man.
Did Michael just look at his watch? Did he determine how old he is?
Yeah.
I did.
It's got one of those.
On the Apple, is that on your Apple Watch? One of those
I-
things? Yeah. that
It
will
says
tell
you're
you how old
almost
you are.
TikTok. It's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
It's just the Grim Reaper just hacking
It
at
should
you
start
with his sight.
counting down your years instead of counting them up. So did you feel like this wasn't your most cherished
No.
toy, but still you and Moss Man had a game that you did. And
That's right. The games that you play as a child are just stupid and silly, obviously. But like, it's just one of those things that was like, oh yeah, I was like, what's that phrase? Like, hoist on your own petard.
yeah.
I brought this on myself.
I did this to me.
I threw this guy that was intended to be lost, that blends into the grass and the ivy and the whatever, and I threw him back there, and then he got lost. Yeah, who's to blame?
Ugh.
You are, you clown, playing with your toys. This is why toys should be brightly colored, like clowns. I am a masterful knower of where everything in the house is. Person.
Yeah, that's
Emily
a job,
will ask me at any moment, have you seen my phone?
To
And
the
I will
left
say,
of the bread box.
It is on the kitchen table, right next to where you're doing your makeup. Thank you. There it is. Have you seen my phone? It is on the changing table, next to in the baby's room.
Have you seen the baby?
He gone.
He gone.
Check Wrigley Field, the Ivy in Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
He's there with Andre Dawson. Like, it's just like, for whatever it is, I'll walk in the room and I'll do like a T-1000 from Terminator, like survey of the room.
Yeah, the scan.
I
Yeah.
get a scan
The
it
LiDAR
all,
scan.
and then like comes
You know where stuff is.
7:45 at night, there's going to be a question that's going to be asked of where X is, and I'm like, I know where that is.
That's a skill.
I know.
That's a skill.
It's just-
Put that on
it's-
your LinkedIn.
I've just
Yeah.
learned how to do. I'll put it on my LinkedIn.
I know
Good
where
at finding things.
I know where your phone is.
I know where your phone is.
Ricard.
All right, so my second one is my sense of invulnerability.
Oh, I was wondering how esoteric we would get.
I will have to say that the season 3 theme is just us falling apart.
Yeah, totally.
Well, no, this is
All of us is just like it is.
no, this is
We're
actually
looking at
younger
our
than
own
me
mortality.
and not liking.
I was at Disneyland when they paged. With the person who lost their sense of invulnerability, we have it up here.
We have it up here. Also, you're dead.
You're also you're dead. Okay, what does
no,
this mean?
was
Didn't
my
you
freshman year.
weren't you racked by illness your entire life? Like when did you think that you were impervious?
Well,
to...
because when you're a kid, you
He's
just
so old he was in a bronze lung.
oh my
exactly. It was my freshman year of college, so I was still only 17 at the time. And when you're that age, you just think you're fucking bulletproof.
yeah.
And I use the term bulletproof because this will become
Oh wow.
apropos for the story. A bunch of us went out to at USC. A bunch of us went out to go see a show on the Sunset Strip, probably at the Whiskey because it was all Asia's or the Roxy or something like that. Came back. It was like 2:30 in the morning. You know, it's a Saturday night. We're like, my friend and I, Ben, we're just like, I'm still hungry. Let's go get something to eat. Go across the street to like the 24-hour grocery store, get something to eat. No problem. Well, we get to the corner and car pulls up, stops at the red light. No big deal. Other car stops at the green light. We hear shouting. Then I hear a bang, bang, bang. And between the second and the third bang, I hear a bzzz, go right, but probably about 6 inches from my ear. Which takes me about a second or two to realize, oh, yeah, that was one of the bullets
Yeah.
literally whizzing past my
Wow.
ear. So close I could hear it go, whizz.
Wow.
We ran, as soon as we figured out what was going on, we ran, there was like a little like mud, like dirt embankment kind of by the sidewalk, and it had been raining. So I wound up slipping and just falling ass first, just all the way down. And as soon as we got down, I was like, oh, god damn motherfucking shit.
Wow.
And my friend's like, oh my god, did you get shot? I was like, no, I got my pants all muddy. And cars drove away. Both cars drove away. And we sat there for about a minute. And we the actual conversation we had was, well, they're not going to come back, are they? No, they're gone. Are you still hungry? Yeah, we should probably still go get our chips. And proceeded to get up, walk across the street, go get our chips and crackers.
Yeah.
Or whatever we're going to get, our cookie, our Keebler cookies.
Yeah.
Came back. And then about 20 minutes later, like,
Keebler cookies are the worst cookies.
I don't know what the hell
I love
we
that
got.
bullets you're worried about killing you.
Exactly.
It's your diet.
Little did we know.
Nobody, listen, EL fudge are not good.
Real fudge is pretty good.
I'll eat some EL fudge. Yeah.
Then about 20 minutes later, like the whole like reality
Yeah.
of what happened set in, and it
Yeah.
was like, holy shit! I came about 6 inches away from taking
Yeah.
a bullet right in the head.
You're right in the middle of the cola wars.
Exactly. I shouldn't have been walking around
Wow.
with that RC cola.
Yeah,
I thought I was
yeah.
being neutral the whole time. But
So, how did you feel then? Scared?
oh yeah, scared shitless. It was like one of those like, oh my god, I was that close to dying.
Yeah.
Just-
I can't eat cookies when I'm dead. If I
kidding.
die, how am I going to eat cookies?
Who's gonna get me? Those bastards are gonna steal my cookies if I'm dead. I know
He could
it.
have shot these cookies.
Could have shot the cookies. It was just a
The only good times to hear bang bang is when like Fred Schneider from the
Yeah.
B-52s is yelling it into a
Yeah.
microphone.
or Diamond Dallas Page.
What it sounds like you did have a sense of invulnerability.
Yeah, because you're a kid. You don't know any. You know,
Okay.
when you're a teenager,
Yeah.
you just sort of think like, there's no concept of mortality. Really.
Yeah.
Even if maybe you've had like a grandparent
Yeah.
die or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
but you just don't think about it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first like near death experience.
Oh, okay.
Like true, like though that came really close to something bad, like really
Yeah.
bad happening.
As I've aged, and you just waking up is an experience in like pain, kind of assessing the damage of all these joints and things like that. That's the more. Now I think even more about driving slowly and carefully. If I get in a wreck, I'm just going to shatter like
Right.
Mr. Glass. Yeah. Okay, Michael.
My second one is an old email address. Now,
Oh.
I was kind of late to the email game. Like, I didn't really get like my own personal email address until like I was midway through college or near the end
Really?
of college, because I used like the school's email.
Oh.
I used like my UCSB email address.
Oh, really?
But I didn't have anyone to email anyway, so it wasn't
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And eventually, like everyone, you just got like had like a Hotmail address.
Yeah.
And I used that up until like 2005 or so when I got, or 2004, 2005, something like that, when I got like the Gmail.
Yeah.
I got a Gmail account, and that was like offered basically unlimited storage.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was so enticing about Gmail versus Hotmail, with like Hotmail and any other email account was like you're constantly deleting things
Yeah.
to make room, to maintain, to whatever, to save on the messages that you needed to have, versus Gmail, which was just like, oh, this is never going to run out.
Yeah.
But like a few years ago, I realized, oh, I used to have like an old email address, and I wonder what happened to that. Like, of course, I couldn't log back in. It was been deleted and gone forever. And it's weird to think that I had a good 5, 8, 9-year run of like, oh, this was what I used to communicate with my friends. But like looking back now, like I'm sure there was nothing all that important to it. I'm sure it was all like,
Well, there's nothing all that important in your email now. I know what's in your email roughly,
No.
and it's all old kickball team names.
sure, that's true. It's all Slimer and the Real Kickballers, and it's all the
Blackula's balls.
the Count Blackulas. It was revised. The Encino Cavemen. But that was a good decade of my life that was lived like before Facebook. It was like lived socially through Gmail. And like I'm sure that there isn't all that much that was interesting to save in there, aside from emails from like, I didn't have, like before Kickball, I didn't have a ton of friends. I had like 3 or 4 close friends, and that was it. Maybe everybody was like that, and maybe I put too much on how many friends we actually have.
Yeah.
It was all probably like student loan payment confirmation emails, or like, here you go, here's all this promo stuff. But like I'm so curious to what that person is, because I don't have any other record of that. I don't have letters. This was like post letter writing. This was
As
like
a scrapbook.
yeah, it's just like some sort of weird document on my life. And I think about that every once in a while, like documenting yourself through social media. Like I can go back and look through like my old live journal, and I've done that.
With the James Gunn firing, it made me think, were I ever to achieve any kind of status in which somebody would want to scrutinize the statements I've made electronically, I thought of some joke I made about making a pun about a transmission and a transvestite, or something. A tranny will cost you, or something that I wish I didn't write. And now I wonder who was that guy who made those stupid jokes.
I would like to know who like the email me of 2002 is.
Yeah.
Just to look back and be like, who were you when you were 22 years old, 23 years old? And it'd be like, I think that would just be so interesting. But it's like, oh no, that is gone.
Yeah.
It's all purged. That is just, it just doesn't exist anymore. And that's a weird feeling to be like, oh, that's, don't even try to get that. What are they going to do? Maybe you'd get like the email address back if you could like somehow, but like you're never getting those messages back or whatever.
Unless you become in the public eye or politician, and now all that
they'll
find all that crap.
That's so funny.
What I think is interesting about the things you used to do, what those communication platforms used to be back then too, because there's somebody I have some people I used to volunteer with, and one of the older persons in this volunteer group likes to contact people via email to ask them if they want to do things in the evening, like, let's go out tonight. Does anybody want to go out tonight and have a drink? Like, why aren't you on Facebook? Or why don't you text us? That's how I remember organizing things via email in the past.
Like we lived, it's funny, like I am logged into like Gmail all day long, but like it's almost like vestigial. Like it's not like we text back and forth all that much anymore, Richard, or G-chat anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been so busy.
Yeah.
We do every once in a while, but like I used to live through like G-chat, and I would have like multiple conversations going at all
at
times
once.
and emails, and it was just I remember the days that my work would shut down the G-chat function. Just because it was like an option, like, whatever they do, whatever the IT people do. And it'd be like, I'd be so bummed. I'd be like, hey, friends, G-chat's down. I'd have to change my message and be like, my G-chat's not working. And like,
oh, God.
So like these sorts of things that are these like digital receipts of like just your life is like so. And when you're working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, all of your time is spent there or, it's just weird.
Well, that's interesting. Just that that absence of that chronicle of who you are, that's been lost to.
And like I said,
time,
like I was I was emailing like my friends Eric and like Julie and Valor, and like that's about it.
Yeah, that's
it. Like I've had every conversation with them since on Gmail, and it's been all about Napoleon Dynamite quotes. Yeah, I 100% know that's all it's been. But like, still,
if you were Mozart, if you were Mozart and you were typing the Lost Symphony on it, that would be a big thing. Hey, we are at our halftime, and you know what this means? Halftime show! Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul McCartney!
Oh, we got Paul here!
Bruce Springsteen! Lady Gaga! And Beyonce! And Justin Diamond. Screech from Saved by the Bell?
No, we know.
Okay, sorry. So halftime show. This is a great show where we tell you to go to audibletrial.com/Rushmore to download a free book, courtesy of us. That's right, us at Mount Rushmore Podcast in conjunction with Audible want you to try their service. And they've got 180,000 books to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And whether you continue the service or not, you get to keep that free Audible book that you have. So it's summer, or you're out there riding your bike around or doing fun stuff by the beach, you might as well listen to a book instead of bringing a stupid paper book with you. That's dumb. And I invite you to do another dumb thing. And then take that, suck it paper, to go download, rate, and review all the past episodes of the Mount Rushmore podcast. 1, it'll frighten us because nobody's done it before. And 2, it will help other people know how great the Mount Rushmore podcast is because they'll have you recommending it to them. So you can do that by going to iTunes or Stitcher. You can also support podcasts in general by supporting this podcast.
That's horrible.
That's true.
So strange.
Usually.
I can't imagine what that's like.
Do you want to?
That could never happen to me.
It might.
Lock him away. He's pure evil. Or insane.
Or human. My name's Kate. I have worked as a forensic psychologist as well as in prisons and as a crisis clinician. My job was to figure out who gets locked up and who gets a key. To find the humanity in inhumane situations. So, are you sure you really want to know?
Yeah, maybe.
Because by the end of the episodes, you just might end up thinking...
I felt better before I knew that.
You can find me at IWB Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, sometimes Instagram, or you can email me at iwbpodcast@gmail.com.
Meaning that podcast that you just heard a promo for. And you can also get into the conversation, join us in dialogue at the Mount Rushmore podcast by going to our Facebook site and checking out the Mount Rushmore page on Facebook, the Mount Rushmore podcast page. And you could even suggest a topic that we could debate and deliberate in the future. You could do the same thing on our Instagram and our Twitter. These guys, they're continuing with their debating. Richard.
All right, so this is one that's near and dear to my heart because this literally happened today. Guys, I lost my earbuds again.
Oh, shit.
Again.
Oh, no.
I lose earbuds with a startling regularity.
Yeah.
I probably go through at least, I don't know, a half dozen earbuds a year.
Your ears are so large, I could see how
They may actually be stuck in there.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just blow your nose every once in a while and see what comes out.
Well, I get quarters. Sometimes
Shot the cat.
Sometimes I get small varmints.
Varmints.
It
But
would be trouble if like one
Vermin.
came out each nostril and
Oh,
it's like
God.
stuck in there, and you have to decide
Lousy.
which way do I pull. Which
this seems like a bad magic trick.
These aren't the Bluetoothy ones like the.
I have a pair of Bluetooth ones that somehow managed to get stuck in a jacket.
What Occam's razor or Schrodinger's cat like treatment jacket do you have that they got stuck
It's just a
inside?
bomber jacket, but it had like one of the pockets had a little hole
Oh
in it.
yeah.
And somehow it got into the hole, and now it's like in the lining of the jacket, and I can feel it like in the back of the jacket, and I can't like I have to figure out how to like manipulate it to get it back out,
Yeah,
or cut my entire jacket out to get it.
Like, oh, too bad you're not married to a costume.
A
creator.
seamstress or
Seamstress.
something, right?
so I think we've talked about the my ordering, my apprehension about like ordering like the new
Yes.
Apple.
Yeah. Mhm.
So of course, because I am the stupidest of all humans,
It's
I've-
clinically proven. Well, he's not bragging.
I am literally as dumb as they go. I've ordered. I found some like knockoff
Oh, yeah,
deal
yeah.
of the ones that look very similar, but they're like $23.
Mhm.
And of course, because I'm a fucking moron, I'm like, I'm gonna order these things that like look exactly the same, that don't they pair up but don't do it exactly the same way and as efficiently as the Apple ones do. I've been waiting for these things for like a month and a half
Oh,
because
yeah.
I've ordered them through some stupid idiot deal
Mm-hmm.
where they were super discounted.
DH gate or something like
These
some crap
things,
like that.
I'm holding my fingers apart, like an inch and a half.
Mm-hmm.
They are gonna get lost so fast,
Yeah.
Richard. I'm so angry at myself
For even ordering them.
for even ordering them because I know exactly what's going to happen. One, they're going to sound terrible.
And they're made of actual apple. Like, but you see, we did not fool you because it says apple.
Fuji. But like that feeling of like these things, I know. You have to be so precious. With
I think you're wise. You're giving yourself a cheaper way to discover how you would be around the real things.
That's
right?
interesting.
Like when you and Emily baked that baby first, the dough baby, and then you said, if we can keep this intact and not let the ants get it, we can have a real baby.
Richard, do you look for a specific type of like earbud or like, because you have like a Samsung phone, do you like?
Oh, and these are the earbuds that came with the Samsung phone, and they're really nice. They're like one of the best pair of earbuds that I've ever had. And I think I left. By the way, if anyone has
Airbud is a movie.
earbuds,
The
I
problem is you're
lost
wearing
Airbud.
dogs in your ears.
I lost Airbud.
They've got good
If you
woofers.
find him, oh no!
Yay!
So if anyone, by the way, public service announcement: if anyone happens to be at the Lowry's Sandwich Place by Staples Center right now, even though this episode won't air for another 2 weeks, please check around the tables
Yeah.
and see if you see my earbuds.
Near
'cause
the
I
soccer
think that's
tickets.
where they went.
The soccer tickets and the.
Oh, so if you see the soccer tickets, just rip them up because that's long gone.
Have I told you this story multiple times about that? The video rental place in Minneapolis had a automated voice calling thing that would call to let you know that your movie was past due, and it was a combination of a computer voice and the manager of the movie rental place, who happened to sound maybe like a flight attendant from the South. So, so it was a combination of the thing. And I remember because it was the movie, a relative had come over, they had rented Airbud, and it was, hi, this is the Hollywood Video on Nicollet Avenue. Just letting you know that Airbud is late. Please return it. We need your copy of Airbud real soon. Thank you very much. It was the best. I wanted to go overdue on movies just to, hey, just so you know, Terminator 2 is late. Bring it in, will you please?
Do they have an adult film selection? Because that would have been interesting.
Just so you know, Anal Amateurs Part 7 is late. Okay, sorry.
That's so funny.
Okay.
I just lose earbuds. I don't know what it is about earbuds specifically. I think it's just because you take them off. Like I'll come and get off the bus or the train, get home, take them off, and I just sort of throw them. I try to put them where I think I will always remember them, But there's that one time where you're like, oh, I'll just put it on the table. Then the stuff gets cleared off the table, and he gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Michael.
I'm going to stay within the realm of technology, and this is kind of like a mea culpa for us guys.
Oh.
We talked about this. There is a hard drive that had
Oh, I know this story.
all of our old episodes,
all
of the old raw files of Mount Rushmore, where the hard drive just
it ain't.
power up anymore.
Oh, this is a moment, you guys. You're hearing a moment where Michael is revealing to us that the legacy is gone.
He gone.
Well, okay, listen. So, through like our web service provider, like all the old MP3s are still there. So like you can still download and listen to every episode and go back to episode 1.
But we want to go back and digitally enhance for 4K audio.
That's right. Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
Can we do that?
Shit.
We can't do that anymore.
We can't do that.
But like all the individual files and like all the little Audacity files or like GarageBand files that I had collected from Dropbox and that you'd emailed over and that I had on my hard drive on my laptop were all on one hard drive. Not that there aren't different versions around, but it's the one that I had collected everything into one place. We might never be getting that back.
Wow.
So I took that stuff to Mount Rushmore is auditioning for a third to replace me. These two guys are just whispering back and forth very frantically right now.
Can we get Paul Lurie on?
I don't know.
Or maybe
What do you
Ryan.
think, Patty Cullum?
Yeah, he's already got a podcast.
He's busy doing it at a podcast.
Shaping. You guys? Okay, well,
So
thank
anyway,
you for being honest.
I did the responsible thing. I took the hard drive casing. Instead of to a professional, I took it to a friend.
Yeah.
And we busted open this hard drive, like plastic
You threw it into the
thing.
garden over your shoulder. You threw it into the garden.
That's right. And
Good news, he found Moss Man.
that's right. He was right there.
you
In all the episodes. And he thought that your stuff about the breakfast cereals was very poignant.
You busted it open.
So one of our friends, Kaz, an old kickball friend, was like, bring it to me. Let me take a look at it, see what I can do. He plugged it in. Couldn't get it to power up. He like opened it up, unscrewed it, and he did. So it's like, well, I don't know what to do. He said I would take.
Was he wearing fingerless gloves?
He's not a real wasn't actor, Julian Casablancas from The Strokes, no. And so I eventually took it to like a place, and the place sent it off to their place.
Yeah.
And then I got a phone call, and on the phone call, it was very much like, well, we know that there's stuff on here. There's a couple there's different types of files. So our case might not be totally lost.
Oh.
It just might not be professionally lost. They're like, well, to recover it seems like you have a couple different types of files. There's like music files or something. And I was like, yeah, there's like MP3s and there's like GarageBand files and Audacity files. That's going to be... I hear like calculator sounds. $2,100, and I'm like, no way is our work even close to $2,100.
Oh my god!
And they're like, there's other like JPEGs on here too, like other images. Would those be interested to you? And I was like that stuff is like all the images that we'd save for like a little individual file episodes.
Yeah,
like just dumbass JPEGs of like 4 presidents.
The stuff I dragged off the internet and then
yeah, garbage stuff. And I was like, well, how much would that be? And he was like,
he's got all the computer
$794. And I'm like, I'll just have the hard drive back.
Yeah.
So
that will
this stuff may be lost.
Okay.
All right. Who knows? It's on a hard drive somewhere. And if there's anyone out there in like, I'll do things for free internet land of like data recovery, like please reach out to us. Because I just want the peace of mind of it. Like I think that's the thing is like, I thought we were responsible by keeping stuff on a hard drive, keeping stuff in Dropbox in the cloud, and keeping stuff on a laptop and various laptops where we record things. And like, it just goes to show that like, man, you're just kind of screwed no matter what you do.
Yeah.
No matter how many safeguards you have, you're just kind of like, someone's going to get you.
And I'm fascinated that there are some analog formats that are recoverable, so if you had something recorded on a DAT or like a mini disc or something like that, you're kind of SOL. But if you had a record that your grandparents had, there's 300 hipsters on your block who have a or you could go
Just call Jack White.
call Jack White, or go grab a porcupine, rip a quill off, and stick a paper cone around it, and just trace it in a circle, and you're playing that record. Have I made my point, listeners? Okay, Richard.
All right, so my last one is the contents of my stomach. My freshman year of college, after a particularly rough drinking night. This was a few months after the near-death experience, although I don't want to say the two are connected.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't drink throughout high school.
Nothing. Not even water.
Not even a drop.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to college and I had like a beer here and there.
Yeah.
But
and you did
really,
full-on Barney Gumble, and it turned into a...
So it was midterms, and we had like that one like where you've got like the day off from your midterms. It's supposed to be the stop day, exactly. Where you're in theory studying. Well, everyone thought it would be a good time to let's have a party in the dorms. Yeah. Yeah. Blow off some steam.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to drink. It's been a rough first few months. Almost got killed. Probably time to get something.
Yeah.
I can have a couple of drinks. Mm-hmm. So.
And you hadn't had any drinks?
I'd had a couple of beers at that point, probably. But like maybe like one beer.
Okay.
Like a couple of nights. So they decide, well, let's get stuff to make screwdrivers. Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind again, I have never made a mixed drink in my life. I have no idea how.
I think this story has been on the pod.
Has it been on the pod?
I think the screwdriver, the overmixed screwdrivers.
Oh
yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if we told the story or not. But if you haven't heard this story, I essentially filled up a solo cup with about 90% vodka and about 10% orange juice.
Oh, wow.
And then because
I filled up that solo cup later in a different way.
So it more than a solo cup I filled up. And then I proceeded, because I took a drink of it, and I don't know what a mixed drink is supposed to taste like. Mm-hmm. I just think, oh, this tastes absolutely terrible. That's because I've never had a mixed drink before. Yeah. So I better just suck it up, Buttercup.
Oh, geez.
And just pounded like 3 of those in like 20 minutes.
Oh, God.
And I don't remember much of the night after that.
You got raped.
Oh, by Mr. Smirnov, for sure. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's Pop-Off. That's even the worst part. It wasn't even like a good, even a semi-decent vodka. Apparently, I would get up, start partying, take swigs out of the vodka for about 10, 15 minutes, go in the bathroom, throw up, pass out on the bathroom. They would get me, pick me up, put me back in bed. Then I'd repeat this process throughout the night. I remember waking up with puke all over the bed.
Oh, God.
And my whole arms and face covered in marker.
Wow.
Because I guess that's what you do. And my roommate and one of his, like, I think his like kind of girlfriend at the time, just like staring at me like the dead had risen. That is, to this day, I cannot drink vodka.
Wow.
That turned me off of vodka. Uh-huh. So I could also say I lost my taste for vodka that day. But more importantly, the vomit. Yeah. When you vomit in a dorm, it's like there's all these like nooks and crannies and behind the bed that it can get like sort of stuck in, and and I'm not cleaning it up.
These are these like hard lessons that you learn from going from like adolescence to like quasi adulthood, of just like you have to make the biggest like you can't just make a mistake. You have to make huge mistakes to really let it sink in. And then you realize that, like, I'll do it Friday night as well.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, some lessons you learn in college, like, hey, don't get changed in front of the open window in your dorm where, like, it faces out to the quad, which I didn't really care too much about that. Free show for everybody. Who cares? That one, that wacky blood alcohol poisoning. Yeah, that's a lesson that's stuck with me. And again, it's weird because I think about this. If I had actually been not as good of a kid growing up, this wouldn't have happened. Because I would have, like, when I was 11 or when I was 12, I would have, like, had a nip of whiskey from my friend's dad's cabinet. Yeah. And over time, I would just sort of figured out how to do alcohol. But because I never had before, it was just like, just go like bonsai, full like, cannonball into the deep into the swimming pool.
You don't have a peer group when you're kind of sneaking sips of alcohol as like a little kid. If it's this kind of little thing that you're doing with your uncle or there's not like, it sounded like you needed to prove to people that you could hang.
Yeah, and I think the worst part out of all of this is that after I finally like dried out for a little bit and then decided I can get back on the horse, I started drinking Zimas. That's the real tragedy out of all of this. Because I spent a good year of my life drinking Zimas. And you know what? I would have a Zima today if you had a Zima in your refrigerator.
I'm sorry, I don't. I'm a shitty
which you
host.
might.
Yeah.
I would not be 100% shocked if Jeff did not have one like from the 80s still in his refrigerator somewhere.
Or a hipster like at the party, like, hey, look at this funny thing that I brought.
I'd have a Zima today, right now.
Didn't they reboot it or something like that?
You're thinking Crystal Pepsi.
I swear the Zima came back on the market.
I'm sure it did. Everything shitty is new again.
Yeah. Okay, what's your last one, Michael?
And my last one, which was like the most like heart stabbing of all, for about 15 minutes, was my wedding ring.
Oh God!
On my wedding day.
Oh my God! I should have thought of that.
At our wedding reception.
Oh,
when it was the end of the night, and it was probably around midnight or so, 11 o'clock, and we were packing up, like, just all the accoutrement that you have, like, when you kind of set up your own wedding a little bit. Like, we weren't the type of couple that we didn't have like a wedding planner or someone that packed everything and did everything for you, and you just kind of like forgot about it until the next day. It was like, sure, we had to pack up our stuff, and we had to go. Emily got in her car with her giant dress, and I got in my car, and we had stuff, and we each drove our cars down to where the after party was. And in the packing up, my wedding ring came off, or I didn't realize that until after about 10 minutes, and it was just like, I can't believe I lost my goddamn ring.
Wow.
And like, it was a ring that like obviously was a little too big because I'd just gotten it and it wasn't fit perfectly, and you never know about these things. And Emily had gotten it engraved inside and all this different stuff.
Wow.
And immediately what flashed through my head was our good friend Chapin and former guest of the show, who lost his wedding ring on his honeymoon.
Are you sure you're talking about Chapin or me?
Well, I did. Apparently, you did it too. But like, I remember Chapin. This was in the middle of big Facebook post Chapin time, which is like, he was in the surf and lost his wedding ring after a week, and it was just like, I will never be that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that I lost my wedding ring.
I remember the panic.
And
I remember trying to help you find the damn thing.
And like, it had fallen off into like a box that we had packed up, and it was put in someone's car or whatever, and just searching around the venue, just hands and knees on my new wedding suit, and just being like, I can't believe, I can't, this is not me. This is the most, I've never been this worried for an expensive ring in my life. And just like on my wedding day, I lost my wedding ring.
Didn't even make it to the honeymoon.
And it was just like, and then we found it, and it was just like, oh my God, I am so careful with this thing. Like, it goes on the side table before bed. It goes, like, if I take a shower, it's on the thing. If like I washing dishes, it's on the thing. I am so conscious of this thing now. Such a scare hit me. It was like,
I can't believe I didn't think of that as mine. I think I have either blocked it out or I just don't want to talk about it. So I couldn't think. I was like, what stuff have I lost? Earbuds. No, I lost my goddamn wedding ring and did not find it.
Oof.
Oh no.
I pulled a Chapin on our honeymoon.
On your honeymoon.
Yeah.
Wow, another honeymoon one.
Yeah, I was in. I think it's that same. I think it's
a new thing in your life.
I think it's a new thing, and I think it doesn't fit perfectly yet.
Yeah.
So my story was that we were in Mexico, and we had gone to a aquatic park. It wasn't not like SeaWorld, but it's that kind of thing where you can swim with
harbor with the dolphins.
Yeah, we can swim with like manta rays and crap like that.
It was one of those things where you learn how to birth a calf out of a cow.
Yeah.
I
And
lost
you stick
the
your hand
went
inside
in.
and pull. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, it's not. No, trust me, it's not that exciting of a story. I went to the bathroom, and I went to go sit down on the toilet, and I thought, this ring's really loose. The last thing I want to do is go to reach down to wipe or something and have it go down the toilet. So I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it like right on top of the toilet paper roll thing. Did my business, got up, left.
Wow.
Realized it about a half hour later, and of course, like,
Yeah.
it's gone. Nobody's like returning that.
Yeah.
And that was a conversation I did not like having.
Wow.
So this is a ring that we got at a touristy type shop in Playa del Carmen for like $40.
There you go.
So it kind of has meaning to me. The meaning that it has to me is what a fucking idiot you were. So Michael, at least you found yours.
Yeah.
I
Thank
will
God.
say a funny bit of irony is I use my wedding ring now to remember things. Like
that you're married.
That I'm married. Well, yeah. If somebody says, if Jen says, "Hey, will you print out this thing for me at work?" or I've got to remember to do the X or the Y, I'll take it off my ring finger and put it like on the ring finger on my other hand.
Ooh.
So I stop and I go, "What? Why the hell is this?" Oh yeah, I'm supposed to remember this thing.
I use a Post-it note.
You post it
Yeah.
on your hand,
Just on my wallet.
on your wallet. Yeah,
At
yeah.
desk.
Yeah.
I usually write food fridge.
Yeah.
I could just write food, and I would know what it means. But I write food fridge, and I know, I went grocery shopping at lunch, and I am not going home without going in and grabbing out that bag.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Because then you have the stuff will just die.
Because
in
I'll
the
see it on
heat
my
of the
wallet.
car.
Be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, well, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need my wallet. I
Okay.
need this food.
Okay,
the fridge.
the Borglum bag is a seldom used tool here on the Mount Rushmore podcast. It's an addendum, a bylaw, a subcategory of a
Subclause 3, I think.
Subclause
Yeah.
3 is the Borglum bag, and where in which the ancestor of Gutzon Borglum is evoked. This is the person who Gutzon Borglum, who designed and did most of the carving for the Mount Rushmore podcast. Anyway, I'll get right to it. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag because the thing that I've had the most remorse about losing, although not permanently, although we thought it was permanent. Jen and I moved in. We decided to spend a night in the house that we're in right now before it had been entirely renovated, which means that this entire thing in the kitchen was completely gutted, and there was a hole in the wall here, and it allowed our cat to have access into the bathroom, where it hid all night under the bathtub because it was so pissed off that we brought it over here into this strange place. And we assumed that the cat had escaped out into the cemetery and was eaten by zombies. So we spent the whole night thinking our child had been
For the record,
escaped.
Jeff and Jen live next door to a cemetery.
A cemetery, yeah.
They don't live in a cemetery,
No.
which you might have assumed when that wasn't
We
made
had
clearer.
We had a similar thing when we moved into our place a bunch of years ago. We had two cats. One of them was like an incredibly fat tabby, and the other one was just like a regular short hair. But they were like best friends.
Yeah.
And we moved in, and we put them in. We had them in separate cages, and we had put them in like the spare room, which is now the kids' room. And we thought, okay, no big deal, no problem. They're in there. All the moving man comes, moves all our shit in. We go in there, and we can only see. All we see is the big cat inside his carrier. We're like, oh my God, the other cat got out when we were moving. Something must have happened. Then all of a sudden you hear coming from like inside, but it's obviously not the big cat.
Yeah.
The little cat had gotten so scared that the big cat had climbed in with him to like comfort him.
Oh.
And then was like on top of him. I think
wow.
kind of half crushing him or something. But
Oh my God.
we thought we had lost this cat for about 10, 15 minutes until we realized, no, just our giant fat ass cat is literally laying on it.
Smothering him
Smothering
to death
yes.
for comfort.
How adorable.
Wow, that's cute. Okay, the bag doesn't stand. Your cat story is better than mine. So, looking back at these this is it, right?
Yeah, take that, Jeff's cat.
Take that, Jeff's cat. Michael, your theme is clearly about discovering and recovering the scrapbook of your life. The ephemeral nature of life leads you to want to contain these things like tickets or this hard drive that has these podcasts that all the scraps, all the things, the email, the idea that you could go back and look at reread the story of your life. So I do think that's interesting. And Richard, you need to see like an ear, eye, nose, and throat doctor. I think.
Oh, that's also true.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that at all.
There's either bullets going in your ear or buds coming out of your ear or barf coming out of your stomach or something like that. So it just seems like this content,
Go see a doctor.
And the time you ate those soccer tickets, you didn't realize it. And you
Shoved them up my butt.
Shoved them up your butt. So. Yeah. So this has been the Mount Rushmore podcast, and
do we have our choices?
I'm about to. But the thing we've been discussing was the Mount Rushmore things you lost, and here are just some things that stood out. Moss Man, homie, we'll mourn you till we join you. Man, I can't believe how much I can relate to that. One, the nerdy game of throwing the toy over your shoulder to find it. And then you finally succeeded in losing it permanently.
That was, by the way, the only end game that could come down to.
Yeah.
There's 0% chance anything would happen.
Hard drive, I'm feeling for you on that one.
I'm feeling for us on that one, not him. This guy.
Yeah, this guy, am I right? And even though Rich tried to bite your style, you were the first one to drop it, the wedding ring. And then Richard, I'm gonna go with the contents of your stomach, because as a recovering drinker,
you can empathize.
I can regurgitate my emotions when it comes to that story too. So this has been the Mount Rushmore podcast. I, as always, am Richard.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Michael.
We lost our sense of identity. Oh man.
Except for Mark.